Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Gaming Chat for The Walking Dead Survivors here on the Hot Patriot Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Hot Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about. Sorry, I need those. We're going to talk about exactly what's going to be happening here in Season 7 and going forward in the game right now, which is. There's a bunch of stuff that's happening right now. I just got off probably about a 40-minute chat, Q&A with everybody. We were able to talk about a bunch of different stuff there. As I was mentioning to them, I asked them if they knew how long it was going to be, the leadership people, the region chief, et cetera, how long it was going to be before the new season opens or whatever. And they were like, yeah, we don't know. Usually it's like 5, because it's supposed to, apparently what it does, I guess it's random. It's whoever you're going to get paired up with for the season. It depends on when their season finishes because it's all on different times is what it is there. So basically you have people right now who, we've been sitting here for days now is what it is, finishing up season 6. And you still have people that are midway into season 6 right now that are going to be finishing up in, maybe a day or two, maybe a week or two for all the fuck we know. But yeah, I guess with the season relocation stuff though, it's usually 5 to 7 days after that is when the new Rise of Tension thing starts. And then it's from that point in time, you have that week basically that leads in directly into the new season. That's what it'll be. So potentially I have about 12 days, give or take, and which is not bad, honestly, because that being said, the fact that I now have my current main account as of this morning is now a T10. I'm literally building T10s right now for the cavalry side. The second one, the network account, is now a couple days from being able to do that. It's I think 3 days right now, or not quite 3 days. It's about 2.5 days, give or take, without speed ups, which obviously I'm, doing it immediately when I'm getting SC events and stuff like that and being able to burn through those is what it is then. And I think eventually it will be something where I will pay into it with, a little bit of various rubies here and there and stuff like that is what it'll be. So, but yeah, I mentioned something about the third account there being probably 30 days before it's going to be, finished and then be able to do all the technology for it and stuff like that. And that the dude who I thought was named Michael is actually named Michel or Michel because it's French, he was mentioning, he's like, time to open your wallet. And some of the other guys mentioned that too. And I'm like, yeah, I'm super poor, dude. And he's like, and one of them was like, time to open your neighbor's wallet. I'm like, hey, if y'all want to give me some money. So we all had to go laugh about that one. I don't think they are going to, though, is what it is. But that, again, that's the huge difference in this game between, these people who are obviously, I don't really know if I want to say well off per se, but they can afford to spend money into a video game, whereas people like me cannot, is what it is. That's a big difference. And again, it's priorities is what it really ends up being there. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, a good suggestion was made for this coming season. I'm not going to mention what it is right now, but I guess it's something that people did in this last season, and that's why they actually won the season. So our plan right now for season 7, actually, with this Q&A is basically we're trying to spitball how we can potentially take first in season 7, depending on who we're, versing and stuff like that. And of course, we're going to create a bunch of other stuff with war strategies, because some of the other people that are, the stronger T10s, as I would call them, mini whales at this point, because they're not really whales. Because to me, the whale people are the ones spending, tens of thousands of dollars a month, if not $100,000 a year on this game, which is, again, fucking insane, dude. If you're spending that kind of money, you need to get your head examined seriously, man. I'm just gonna say it like it is. And the reason I say that is because obviously that one chick mentioned it some seasons back now when we used to be part of 134. It was one of the original chicks from 409 who had mentioned back in, I think it was season 2 or 3 of that game. So that was almost a year ago, or no, about 6 months ago now, give or take. She was the one who mentioned about it being That being said, apparently I guess some of the guys in 144 on this Q&A chat were talking about how they've been here almost 2 years now. And it makes sense because, the one mentioned something about 500 days or so, and I just checked my original count on this today when I hit T10, and it was 488 days between the time I started playing and the time I finally hit now T10 is what it is. Which, again, I think honestly the real problem is anybody could be a T10 right now in this game if it didn't take bajillions of fucking flasks to get to T10 is what it is. And when I say bajillions, I mean like legitimately. If you go from start to finish, like you have zero technology for any of the different things to do the final T10 tech is what it is, like ultimate cavalry, ultimate melee, ultimate sharpshooters and stuff. If you go from the first one to the last one, it's legitimately, I think, like 700,000 flasks or something insane like that. Maybe not quite that many, but it's a fuck ton. And that's the thing, dude. Like, when you're talking, because that's the thing, you talk about it like, and each one is individually a little bit more what it is here. Like, obviously, some of the ones, start out as like 100 or 200, whatever it is there. And then you have other ones that are like 300, 400, 500. And then you have, that big ass one at the end that's 5,000. So, yeah, I would have to actually look into the whole thing and figure out exactly the number you would need is what it is. Because I think there is probably that number out there is what it is, though. But yeah, I almost guarantee it's got to be at least damn near 100,000, if not more, actually. So, and that's per one. So you're talking about, you times that by 3. So you're talking about well over 100K at that point then for that stuff, would be my assumption. And yeah, it's just insane. And then the thing is, like, they barely have like any events where you'd actually get flasks in, except for the lines we cross, and that's only if you win it. And then from there, it's literally, you have that ability to do that or whatever. That's a few hundred there is what it is there. And now they finally, as of a couple of days ago, did the beta test for that Mixture Madness game, which, by the way, they need to bring back immediately, and they need to do it to where you can reset it if you actually finish the whole thing in the first day is what it is. So you can get like double the fucking points. Like, basically that's what it should do. It should be like, hey, this is a 2-day event or a 3-day event, whatever it is here. Each day you have that 24-hour span to finish this. If you don't, you can still finish it like the next day or whatever the case be. It just won't reset. But if you finish it the first day, it should automatically reset the second day then. And you can be able to get another, 300 flasks or whatever it is there. Because that's the thing. If I had that ability right now to do that 2 days in a row, I would have enough flasks right now in my third account to be able to start T10 Tech right now. Legitimately. That's the problem, though. I don't have that ability. And that is a big fucking issue. And like I said, the issue comes down to being, again, it is sort of like that, and I'm not going to say this to the guys that are paying to win, and because I don't want to get kicked out of the fucking region is what it is, basically, or getting marked out or whatever the case be randomly, or kicked out of the coalitions would it be then, honestly. But because they can't really kick me out of the region. I mean, I guess they could try to fuck over all my troops would it be then, but like, yeah, that'd be kind of an asshole move to do that. That'd be the case though. But yeah, the whole point is like, they were talking about various things, and essentially what they were talking about in this whole thing, and it was anybody could join that they wanted to join. That's why I joined up. Is what it was, because I may not be an R5 region leader, or sorry, clan leader. I might not be part of the region council they created in the last season or so, but I am a strong R4. I am a guy who's been here the entire time. I have been working my ass off the entire time. I created multiple accounts to help out in earlier seasons. I actually used those other accounts and got those accounts fucked over early on in the game because of having to basically run stupid ass clans that weren't going to do a damn thing for that season. And yeah, like I put my dues in, basically is what it is. And that's kind of the one thing that one guy was mentioning tonight is what it was. He said, because we lost basically a few good people here is what it is. And that's one thing even Megan mentioned too, about how we had the people basically what was said was we lost quite a bit of power this season because you had people basically show their turncoats. And I'll call them out for what they fucking are. It was people like, specifically, Ghost was the biggest one of them. Groves fucked us over hard about halfway through the season. And I understand, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't understand their reasoning behind it is what it is. And it's because of the fact that they wanted to have a better thing is what it is. Because apparently you had the one person named Flower, I think that's what their name was, or something with Flower in it, was the chick that was basically keeping 98 afloat is what it is there. And then, as I'm not mistaken, I believe the people that were all in 98 now, or not, wait, is it 90, 89? 89, that's what it is. Yeah. Because that's what even I forget who it was that was in the chat here for the Q&A that was talking about it. He was mentioning about how this season 6 for us, it was not a 4-region season. It was a 3-region season. And then you had 89 who basically did nothing because, and I think I'm pretty sure it was 89. I gotta go back and look now. I can't, because that's the problem. You had 89 and 98 in this one. And I can't remember which was which. Is what it is. Because the one won the season because they were like super powerful and they all had a bunch of pay to win people there. As a whale, that's I call them pay to win because it's the people that are whales that are going to sit there and pay a shit ton of money to get ahead in this game and stuff like that. Where again, that's a huge difference between people like that and people like myself. Is being working poor and stuff like that. I cannot afford to do that stuff. And I'm not. And again, I'm not gonna put myself in a credit card debt just to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get ahead in this game. Now, granted, if I knew we were about to go into World War III in like 30 days, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's fucking just max out a bunch of credit cards, dude. let's go, bro." Because it won't even matter at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and do that when I don't have that ability to do that. Is what it is. So, but anyway, what was I gonna say then? Oh yeah, that's right. So basically, as people were pointing out, though, you had it was very interesting, is the way I'll say it right now. So you end up having a situation where what it ended up being was you had people who basically it was essentially free to play versus pay to win kind of thing, and that's the thing. I think that's the thing they don't realize, honestly, with a lot of the, because they mentioned even like T8s, T9s and stuff like that, which obviously I'm technically a T9, but I'm going to T10 right now. So I'm a hybrid at the end of the day is what it'll be. And the whole thing of that is like, they don't realize, having paid X amount of dollars into this game and being able to get ahead so much faster than the rest of us, there is a huge gap between that. That being said, as long as you're daily active in this game, there is no reason to be ending season 6 not at least a T9 right now. And the fact that I'm sitting here looking at people in my clan and the coalition in general that are still fucking T8s, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, seriously. Like, even the one guy that hopped in here from the old region in the last day or so is what it was, during the region relocation process, he's still a fucking town hall level 24. And I'm like, bro, did you seriously not do anything last season in the old region? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get that Killer Bees was fucking you all over with, like, not being able to do, like, tech and stuff like that. Or not having, like, the region buffs or whatever for a long time there. So that you couldn't actually have, like, lower stuff to lower the time or whatever. But, like, even still, like, if you start a fucking thing in that whole thing, man, like, you actually have the ability to start, like, a deal to be able to go out there and actually start a construction project, your fucking town hall should be 25 by the end of the season, bitch. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know. Again, you might have other requirements done for it or whatever the case be, but again, like, what the fuck are you doing? And I think the problem is that particular guy he wasn't active. He really wasn't active a lot of the time. Like, he would be there, 2-3 days in a row, or whatever the case be, and then he'd be gone for like a fucking week. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're doing nothing. And that's one thing I noticed here today. Even there was one of the women who was in the current coalition, and my clan's particularly here is what it is, which I think hopefully we're going to cut this dead weight pretty soon. It'll be with new people coming in then for the last couple of rounds. It'll be here. This chick has been MIA in the fucking region for over 40 days, and yet we allowed her to remain in the clan and get regional stuff that's probably never going to be collected. And I'm talking about all the fucking prizes and stuff like that from the season that's most likely never going to be collected. And it's things that should be going to somebody else, honestly. Like, it's truthfully things that should have been going to somebody in the second coalition then. That could have come up here, got the stuff. We replaced her with them. And, they actually sat there and did stuff for the last month or so, is what it is. Where she did nothing. And that was one thing. And that's exactly why you have the people that are T8 still, is like, because you're sitting there for fucking 40 days doing nothing. You completely like zipped out of the game or whatever the case be. And the thing is, for all I know, you're dead, honestly, for that matter. Like, I assume being gone for that long, you're probably not alive anymore, is what it is. Like, you probably died, like, in some kind of an accident or fucking just natural causes or whatever the hell it was. Who the hell knows? You know? And nobody was able to come on and be like, oh, yeah, they're dead. Like, their account's now inactive or something like that. Because that's the thing. If we knew the fact that it was inactive like that, dude, we could murk that account out right now. And, literally drop it out of our clan / coalition, murk those motherfuckers out, have it basically drop to 0, and then we kick it the fuck out of the region is what it is then. And we allow it to be replaced by somebody new is what it is then. And that gives us a spot right there. And it's really irritating that they didn't do that, honestly. So, anyway, that being said, there is some interesting stuff going on this season that I thought was brought up in the Q&A. The one guy mentioned some kind of strategy, which is essentially, like, back in my head, I was thinking, like, circle the wagons and stuff like that. I almost mentioned that, actually, but I didn't say anything. Because that's basically what he was saying. He's, like, talking about, like, the kill events and stuff like that. Like, you would have, essentially, like, a giant circle, or the outside of the circle, and it would almost be almost like, I'm trying to think what that one food garden thing is, because it was almost like that kind of thing as well, with the, how people make a food garden or whatever, where it's, like they plant like trees on the outside of it is what it is, and it's like shrubs and stuff like that on the inside, and like everything down to like the middle of the path is what it is there, or whatever. And everything that they can walk past in that, like walking through that entire quote unquote food garden, it's all edible stuff, because the outside, the trees are all various fruit producing trees, whether it be apples or pears or plums or whatever the case be, or maybe even a cherry tree for that matter. And then you have, the inner trees that are like random shrubs and stuff like that. It might be like, berry canes of some kind, or grapes or something like that for that matter, and so forth and so on. And then, of course, you would have various, like stuff like dandelions planted everywhere that could actually be used for food processing and stuff like that. A lot of people don't realize that, by the way. That's actually the reason, like, this isn't what that is, but I'm gonna say it anyway right now, because it's on the tip of my tongue and my mind and stuff like that right now. So people don't realize that dandelions are actually our food source. It was planted by our forefathers here in America, and it was planted over here by a lot of immigrants and stuff like that from various European countries, specifically places like Ireland, Sweden, France, etc., who had famines back in the day. And because of that, they realized, like, oh, this is an actual edible thing that we can survive on, and we won't die of starvation is what it is there, because it provides like various vitamins and stuff like that's what it is. And that's why they have them here everywhere. And people seem it's just a weed is what it is. And it's like, no, dude, you can actually legitimately cut those properly. And you can, I forget which part it is. I think it's like the flower part is what you actually cut off, though. And it's more or less like the stems you're eating that have the most nutrients in them. And you can actually make like salads and stuff out of that. It's pretty cool. So, or actually, maybe you can eat the flower too, that I'm thinking about it, as long as because that's the thing. Obviously, it has to be like full flowered is what it is, though. And obviously it has to be washed off very well. Like, do not just pick these out of the fucking ground, just be like, because that's just going to give you all kinds of like random bacteria, especially depending on where you're at too. If you're like major city versus rural area too, as well, for that matter. Like, I would say if you're in a major city, like, oh buddy, I wouldn't even consider eating those at that point as a food source, because just all the smog and pollution, and everything else like that from car exhaust. There's going to be so much of that, and that's never going to be washed out is what it is, even with like 10, 12 washings of those things. But yeah, if you're living like a rural area, whatever the case be, and you're back a little bit or whatever the case be, or you're like in a field or whatever it is, and you see a bunch of dandelions, like, by all means, go pick them all and, throw them into a basket or whatever the case be, and then take them home, rinse them off, and they should be good to go then, if that'd be the case then. So, but anyway, yeah, getting back to what I was mentioning, though, that before I got sidetracked on the whole thing. So basically what this guy was mentioning was essentially circle the wagons. You would have the strong-ass T10s on the outside of the essentially circles, what it is. They would all be shielded up for, probably like a 3-day shield or a week shield or whatever it is there. And then you would have, essentially like layer upon layer upon layer. And eventually it would be, you would have like the strong ass T10s on the outside. Then you'd have like maybe like slightly weaker T10s on the inside, the first layer. And then it would be, various things from there and there. And then eventually it would be your T9s and your T8s in the middle of it is what it is there. And it would all be for kill events and stuff, which is actually a very smart strategy, because that way, you're not going to have somebody go in there and be able to just, figure out where your coordinates are, whatever the case be, drop their fucking shit right next to you, and then start attacking like 5 or 6 people at once is what it is there. Which technically it was 4 before that. Now it's technically 5 because they have R5s now, or formations now is what it is. And the thing about that was nice actually is that you have people who are doing what needs to be done there to realize like, oh yeah, we need to make sure that what players we have right now are not going to get killed or not going to have their stuff all smashed into smithereens before they can actually get stronger is what it is then. Because I think their point is, as the people that are paying money into the game and stuff like that, they're realizing, hey, we need to think smarter, not harder kind of thing. And a smarter strategy is like, hey, let's get our people that have been here for, a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, whatever it is now. Let's make sure that they get stronger throughout this coming season and aren't just weaker and weaker. Because even as, I think it was the same guy was saying it actually, it was a different guy. So it was 2 different guys that were talking. There was one that was mentioning that has a thing or whatever, strategy or whatever. And then there was a second guy that was talking about it. And as he said, it was basically what we've seen in the last few seasons now is that these people that are basically coasting have now outed themselves and are, sort of falling off by the wayside now. And I think he called them slackers or slacking or whatever the case be, something like that. Maybe both those words are used, I'm not sure. But anyway, it was interesting though. And the one thing about that is that he's also talking about how, for the people that are still slightly weaker, whatever the case be, like you could easily make them stronger with that whole thing. Cause it's like, yeah, you can't have, somebody like randomly drop onto your base area and try to attack, or your T8, T9, whatever the case be, that's like right in the middle piece there. Meanwhile, you have like 2, 3, 4 circles around it that are all like, weaker T10s, stronger T10s, insanely fucking pay to win T10 whales and mini whales on the outskirts of the thing. And that way, it's actually better overall because then you have a whole thing. And I think I realized something too, because I didn't mention this in the Q&A, but I should have probably, which was the one guy from Big, that was one of the 132 clans, that was actually trying to attack me last night randomly. And I was able to shield up right before he hit me, actually. And I'm still confused, because people said it might have been a mistake on his part. He might have been hitting the wrong place, or whatever the case be. But the thing is, like, and the weird thing was, it didn't seem like it was... Because usually if you're being attacked or whatever, it'll show like a red thing of like, oh yeah, you're about to be attacked or whatever, like shield up or whatever it is there. I didn't see that in my thing. So I'm almost wondering if it wasn't somebody else was there in that spot. Because there was a time last night where I was doing, everybody was doing the war cart things, whatever they call, or not war carts, the war wagons for the season to go get the boxes and stuff like that. And I was actually working on that too, and I had jumped some of my accounts over there to grab those in like a 10-second, 20-second time span instead of waiting like 5 minutes to go over there with formation there. So I was basically using a relocation into our clan territory as close as possible, and then 10, 20, 30 seconds later I had the boxes what it is there instead of like 5 minutes later I had the box there. So, and anyway, so basically I had jumped back to this spot that was empty that I had been in previously, and it wasn't until like right after that it seemed like I was being hit. And I'm almost wondering if it wasn't something where there was somebody else in that spot who had done something stupid, like one of the new people that came in or whatever, and then that person was actually trying to hit them, and because I had jumped in that spot, it looked like it was coming at me then. So it might have even been a mistake on that one. Who the hell knows? I don't know. I assume it'll be rectified though at some point here though, so whatever. That being said, from what was said today, because I guess with 132, this is actually the second season in a row that we were actually paired up with like variations of that clan or whatever, that coalition is what it is there. So, for that region. So I'm wondering if it's going to be something like that next season too, if maybe we'll be with them again. Because if that be the case, we could easily make some kind of a pact going forward or whatever the case be for at least this coming season then, where it's like, you scratch my back, we'll scratch yours kind of thing. And we can almost guarantee ourselves 1 and 2 then. Potentially, maybe, hopefully, depending on who the other regions are in this whole thing then. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff discussed too, like the one guy was mentioning about how we want to create like war strategy and stuff like that. And then talking about who was going to lead it, obviously, is the stronger T10s of the coalition. That's what it is there. And it was funny because the one guy was like, yeah, we don't need some like T8 or T9 telling people like, oh yeah, let's go attack here, bro. And I almost undid my thing with like Leroy Jenkins, like just randomly. Because I was actually thinking about myself on that one. Like if I was like leadership, it's like, yeah, but you got this guy who's like been there forever, but like he's still technically like a T9, T10 hybrid now is what it would be. And it's like you're really going to listen to that guy versus the guy who, and mind you, I'm not even full stars on anything right now. Or yeah, none of my dudes are completely full 7 right now. The closest one I have is a 6, which is Morgan, and everything else is like a 5 something or other, like 5.5 something like that probably at most. So anyway, but yeah, you're not going to sit there and listen to the guy that has like a single red star on one of his formations, and then like everything else is like barely red or whatever, or not even red at all for that matter, versus a guy who is like obviously way more powerful, T10s across all formations, etc., etc. Like it's going to be that one leading you in the battle, not the other guy is what it is. And so yeah, they were making jokes about that whole thing of like, oh yeah, we're not going to let this happen or whatever. And I don't disagree with it, honestly. It's whatever to me, honestly, truthfully speaking. So to me, it's a whole thing of, good for you guys. Like, figure it out. Let's get it done. Let's do it is what it is. And I get what this Tango guy was talking about. He was basically mentioning how, because he even said he's like, I'm not going to do this one more season, what it is. And I think it was frustration for him of like, because he even mentioned something about how I guess he was approached by one of the other regions then to come join them now, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. This is my family for right now, whatever the case be. Like, thank you for your offer, but no, I'm okay right now. And I get what he's saying. He sees what happened here, and he sees the meshing that we're coming together here is what it is. And you have people who are willing to fight and willing to battle and willing to be able to be there to get things done. And that's how it should be anyway. And that's the entire point of the matter is if and when you can get things done the correct way. Nice, I finally got enough things there to up that. Nice. Sorry, I just realized I was able to do my lord up to 79 on this one. Let's see, do we have enough to we can actually do this? Okay, so we got T8 here, T7. Hopefully Benz can actually carry this then. Because if he can't, it's going to be a pain. But yeah, so basically what was said was you had people who are choosing to do whatever here, and then you have people who are choosing to leave, like straight up is what it is, which makes sense logically speaking. You got people who just don't want to be there or really just don't care enough about the clan / coalition to really give a shit anymore. Because even they were mentioning a couple people by name there. Dufan was one of them who had left. Because I guess they weren't even really communicating in the last month or so during the whole region here. And then you had Palmer, who also left us, who was, from what was said, was a good dude. And he helped me out a little bit here and there earlier on. And I believe it was season 5. He would be there for the Tides events and, raining my town and stuff like that to make sure I got past all 20 walkers, and he was strong enough to do that. That's what it is. So, but yeah, even he wasn't really talking much anymore. And then there was a third guy too that was mentioned, and I think the way that they were talking though, I want to say just like Ghost, Dufan might have been a turncoat because he was one of these people that, and again, this is the problem that happened early on in the season. You had these fucking people across the board. You basically had, and this is why I agree with what was mentioned today in this Q&A, which is you had somebody mention like, yeah, we need to know who is on this region council is what it is, the region chief council. And like, I know 2 of them, obviously, because they're mentioned by name there. But that's the thing. I don't know who the rest of them are, honestly, dude. I'm assuming it's everybody that's the clan leaders of their individual clans. There's what it is. So that'd be like 5, honestly, overall, or at least 4 anyway on that one. Plus whoever the region chief would be then. So I'm assuming it'd be like region chief, 3 clan leaders. So that's 4 people there. And then maybe like an R4 here and there is what it is then. Of like each clan then. So that'd be like 7 people overall, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And if that's the case, then good. We know that then, who's the people then, if that be the case. And we can actually, go forward from there. And knowing that we know who they are now, we can actually hold them to account, basically, if something bad happens, what it is there. Because even the one guy mentioned today, he was like, oh yeah, we'll just have like this It'll be like, because they were saying essentially like people not questioning how they put it now. It wasn't really don't question authority. It was basically like, hey, if somebody says something that's here or whatever the case be, like just pay attention and fucking do what they say essentially, and then we'll figure it out later is what it is there. And I don't disagree with that honestly, because that's how it should be. You know, it's stupid to fucking have people who are gonna sit there and, as Megs mentioned, too many Indians, not enough chiefs is what she was saying. And I agree with that, honestly. And what she was basically commenting on was that you have so many people here who want to act like, oh, you guys fucked up on this thing, but it's like, okay, where the fuck were you this whole time, bro? Like, what were you doing here, And meanwhile, they're not doing the fucking thing themselves is what it is. And that's the problem right now. And that's what's pissed me off this whole fucking time. Now, granted, that being said, there was a lot of time where I didn't do shit this season myself because I didn't bother going over to the thing, but they did mention something about potentially us starting early in the smart way is what it is this coming season, and being able to then go back to the original clans is what it is then for the coalition. I have no problem with doing that, honestly, right now. I have no, if they wanted me to jump over right now, whatever the case be, or said, hey, a day and a half from now, whatever the case be, if you want to just hop over there to this one, since we got our rewards and stuff like that, like by all means, go ahead and be over there now. And you'll just start the region. You'll start the coming season in that region or whatever the case is. I'd be like, okay, cool. That being said, I know that we have better tech in our current clan, and I'm like, I kind of don't want to do that because it's like, especially if we're going to have people that are the T10s over here, being able to go and do that whole thing. And it's like, hey, man, like, we would like to have y'all do this thing or whatever the case be. Like, please come over here and do this or whatever the case be then. And it's like, meanwhile, I don't want to miss out on like any possible rewards that would be then. So, like, that's my only hesitancy is what it would be then. But yeah, if we had guarantees that like, hey, you and like 25 other people are going to jump over then for the coming week or whatever it would be then, like, cool, that's cool then. But again, I would like it to be more after we finish the current thing right now that we're about to start tonight, which would be, we're finally going to do a hell for the prison for Tails now. We haven't done that in, God, I don't know how many months it's been now. It's been a long ass time, dude. It's been so long. It's sad it's been so long that I don't even remember how long ago it was. So that should tell you how long it's actually been. But yeah, it'll be very, very, very nice to be able to finally, go back to some form of normality, I guess is what I'd say best on that one. So anyway, but yeah. So basically, our plan right now is to do certain things, whatever the case be. And it makes sense the way that was being said, because it's essentially, it takes the same amount of time to do this thing that as other things, whatever the case be. So it's like, yeah, we might as well just, because essentially what was mentioned was how, these last couple seasons, we, started out in our main regions in the first coalition. And meanwhile, you had the second coalition that's, a handful of people here and there that are actually active at any given time. They had nobody to go over there and do stuff, versus we could actually go over there early on in this coming season, drop their fucking bases, get to building on their stuff, get to low-level communities or whatever the case be, maybe even take a community or two with them over there, being strong enough to help them get it is what it is then. And then from there, it's basically, you would then just have them, get those rewards and have that prosperity for that community. And overall, it works out for all of us, because you would then have it equate to our prosperity for the whole, server then. And then we could basically, do our cooldowns from there and jump back to our real region, or jump back to our real clans, and then start working on shit from there is what it is then. We'd be all better off then. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway, so basically it worked out well for all of us. And pretty much the consensus is that every couple of weeks now we're going to get together and do one of these things and discuss things and whatnot. And that way we can actually have, real discussions and not just people, talking and making up shit or whatever the case be, and being all like, "Oh, but they're lying to you over here," because that's the one guy who mentioned he's like fake news and misinformation or whatever the case be, or trying to like disinfo campaign. I think is what he mentioned sometime during the whole chat. He's not wrong, dude. There are definitely people trying to fuck us, is what it is there, here and there. But again, I think a lot of those people are gone now. They have proven that they, were sort of turncoats. But in the same way, it's almost like, were they really turncoats, or was it simply a situation where they should have and could have been better for everybody if it was not for the fact that you had them basically just not wanting to kill an almost dead region anyway. And that's what I kind of feel it was, honestly, because that was the one vote that sort of cast people out, is what it is there. Was you had the region chief council of how many people, who the fuck knows it is right now, which I guess at least a couple of those people are going to have already left now for other regions now, is what it is there. So I assume that Palmer guy was one of them, if that'd be the case. I think Doofan might have been one too as well, for that matter. And so you had, I think Jimmy Love was mentioned too, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe that they were one that didn't really do much of anything at the end of the season. Here's what it is. So yeah, you had these people basically, I don't know how they put it on this whole thing, but basically, like I said, with people like Grooves, people like Ghost, people like Kaiser JC, who all left the region now, by the way, because they essentially turncoated us like halfway through the season and did the whole thing. Because that was the point. Like, the whole point being that I'm trying to beat around the bush of is there was a vote being done within the region council where it was basically, hey, we have this coalition going with this other region, this 132, people 132, here's what it is. It's basically, if either of the other two regions, 89 or 98, attack us, it's essentially game fucking on. And that's what the whole point was. It's like, hey, if they attack, we attack back. If they try to murk us, we murk them, basically. And it was essentially like, if basically with the way my understanding from what was said today, the vote itself was basically, hey, if you have somebody coming into your territory and attacking 5-10 of your people, whether they be T8s, T9s, etc., you as a strong ass T10 should be willing to defend their asses at that point and fucking snipe this son of a bitch. And that was the problem. Is you have these people that are the pay to wins, people like Gross, people like Kaiser, people like fucking Ghost, who refused. They're like, oh no, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this 2-clan coalition that could potentially be 1 and 2 this season. As it was, we ended up taking second, and then that other clan ended up taking third then at the end of the day. So the entire point was, though, if they had just stuck with us, we could have been better off overall. But no, they, left. They took a few people with them, is what it was here. And not only that, what was fucked up was they were questioning Megan's integrity. They were questioning other people's integrity of like leadership and stuff there. And it's like, who the fuck are you to even be questioning that shit, dude? Like, except the fact you paid a bunch of money into the game. Like, that was the problem right there, right? They were questioning people when they didn't have the wherewithal to technically be questioning these people, is what it is. And that's, I think, what was brought up between a few people like Megan, Jeff, etc., was that, hey, like, if people are telling you something, maybe just do it. And then, we can have scrutiny later on or whatever if it works out bad or something like that. Like, yeah, we'll take the fucking, hit or whatever it is there. So, and it was kind of bullshit, honestly, dude, because it's like, yeah, you could have had a better overall season with these people in it, but they chose to basically go form that stupid Zen clan. And now they're just leaving the region, what it is. But yeah, as Megan mentioned, the nice thing that happened in this season was you basically had... Okay, that was Ben. Oh, okay, I didn't realize he had changed his form. Okay, cool. Anyway, but yeah, you basically had these people at the very end who showed their true colors very, very quickly. And what's fucked up is, not only do they show their true colors in this situation, they actually, in doing so, made the rest of the region better overall. Because as everybody else was saying in this Q&A, they actually solidified and coalesced us into unifying basically against them. And so it essentially turned into a situation where we're better off without them in there now. Because not only are they gone, we've now replaced them with either equally strong people or even in some cases slightly stronger people. Like there's one person that came in here to my clan right now that's one of these T10s that has almost a full 5-star Zeke, if not a full 5-star Zeke right now. And with that I mean Ezekiel, not the actual character Zeke, because Zeke is the fucking, everybody has full 7 Zeke basically at this point, honestly, except for me. Because it is a what do they call those? An epic, not a legendary, which obviously Ezekiel, King Ezekiel, so I should say on that one, is a pay-to-win character. I think you have to be like, it's either, I want to say it is level 12 on the elite thing, and then you got to pay in money into getting his fragments and stuff like that. And like I was mentioning to some of these dudes today, I was like, oh yeah, how, like, basically, like, what about this, or what about that, or whatever. And it was a whole thing of like, hey, like, how long until, this becomes a whole thing right now. And it really was honestly like a very interesting situation, because it allowed for all of us to basically see what was actually happening here and essentially figure out like, oh yeah, these people are not with us. They're not, for the betterment of us. They're for the betterment of themselves. And without them in this region, we're better off without them, kind of a thing, which is good, because being able to figure that out and, figure out what the problem was, problem children, if you will. We came together as a clan then. We came together as a coalition, and we're better off in the long run, because now we have a bunch of people from 129 joining us, and we're becoming stronger. And that's all it really matters at the end of the day, is how strong we actually are. And, well, it's not about how strong we are. It's basically about how strong we are, but also how we can all communicate together and be able to form that, sort of solidified coalition of, hey, one for all for one, old school ass Three Musketeers kind of stuff is what it is there. And then of course D'Artagnan comes in out of nowhere. So anyway, but yeah, the entire point is though, you had basically all these people who didn't know anything, didn't do anything for the entire season, just wanted to be a bunch of dickheads, basically is what it is. Actively hurt us as a clan / coalition, and then they wonder why we're not going to put up with that shit. So, but yeah, it is what it is, man. And so yeah, we're basically going back to my, ooh, shit, I almost forgot I had to do some more of this stuff now. Oh shit, I have a bunch of those to do actually. Yeah, I got to do this for the next half hour now, every 10 minutes, because I just realized that my war workshop things were not totally done for the day, because I forgot about them there. So check to make sure that there's not anything right now in this area that, oh, no, there is actually. How many of these are left? Oh, there's 4 left in that. Oh, how long do we have right now? A minute? Yep, just got just enough time to be able to get to this right now. Jump over here and do this real fast. Sorry, I just realized that we literally had a level 31 sitting here that is about to expire, and I must get to it before it does to be able to get one of those boxes again. So all right, do that, do this, jump that guy. Let's see, is there any other ones here? That's the real question. Okay, I'm not spotting anymore. Not seeing nothing. Nope, just that one. Okay, cool. I think maybe there was another one taken earlier that I didn't get a chance to hit, is what it is. So I wish I could have grabbed 2 of those actually, because I got 10 seconds before this disappears now. was like the song note guy or whatever that was the one hitting it. So whatever. So 14 to 15 will be taken then, and that whole thing. I'm gonna see how long because that just hit 0. So I think it's like a minute or so after that it actually expires then. So we'll see. I'm literally watching it and see how long it takes to expire. I think it'll be right now, actually. Or whenever the clock strikes like 60 seconds then. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so one person didn't get done. That sucks, but whatever. I did though. Let's see what I got in my thing out of the Walker wagon cargo thing. So let's see. For this account, oh, nice. Hells yeah. That was totally worth grabbing then because I literally just got another fucking Negan box out of that in my third account. So I think I'm almost at Negan right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think I only need like one Negan or something to go right now. Or no, sorry, I need 2 Negans to go right now for that. So yeah, totally worth it. No, it's funny that out of 15, only 14 got picked out. I just happened to get the one that was the fucking one, so it was like 12. I think in that one because I ended up speeding my guy up halfway to get there faster than my other 2 accounts were going to be there. So yeah, I should have taken the 12th one then. So it was the 12th one that was the Negan fragment. So yeah, that means 200k left right now, and I can have a 3-star Negan tonight then. That's a huge game changer, by the way, for those who don't know, because when that happens, they'll hit achievements for the collectibles, and it will give me 1,200 rubies for that Negan, being 3 stars now. So that should be fun as hell. Let's see, donate to clan. Let's see, exchange dogs 10,000 times. Have a dog learning a skill 20 times. That's got a 5 more to go on that one. Research 1,000 technologies. Got 40 to go on that one. Let's see, you have 80 survivors. Got 76 right now. That'll be huge, by the way, because it'll be several thousand if I can get to 80 survivors at some point. So, which I think in a lot of cases, those are all pay-to-win things, though. I didn't do my gun shops at 22 in this one, though, because that's the next thing to give me a couple hundred rubies there. Kill 10,000 walkers on the map. I'm less than halfway into that one. Let's see, kill 10,000 walkers level 19 or higher. Less than 3k into that one for this. Got about 400 Woodbury armies to go right now before I break that one for that thing. A couple thousand to go. Level 19 or higher. Several thousand to go of the abandoned ones. Let's see, about 2 million for the healed fighters. Win survival challenge 5 times. Yeah, that's not gonna happen ever. You know, that's the thing that sucks too, man. It's like that's the real problem. Is there's so many pay-to-win people with the survival challenge things, and they literally say, "Okay, I'm gonna take this one now. Okay, you take this one next time," kind of thing. That they're definitely getting that all the time. Is what it is. They've all gotten their 5 more than a long time ago. Is what it is there. And meanwhile, most of us are never going to get our 5 ever, is what it is then. So it does suck on that one then. But it is whatever, man. So anyway. I do need to play the restricted zone one time, though, in this, just to get the initial 100 rubies for that one then. And as if we win 3 more Lines We Cross events, I'll be able to have my ruby count for that one. So anyway. But let's see, where the fuck was I now? I don't even know anymore. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was talking about the region that came in last in this season for the thing that we were talking about there. So yeah, what was basically said was you had this flower chick from, I believe it was 89 is what the region was considered there. You had this woman who basically had gotten fucked over by a bunch of people in her region previous to that. She basically was keeping this region afloat, and that's the only reason. By the way, this goes to show how one pay-to-win whale can basically keep a region from being a dead. That was a dead region, by the way. They only had one fucking clan in there as a coalition. They can keep that power level to be matched up with the rest of us, which is ridiculous because almost everybody else in that was like T89. So what basically happened was, from my understanding, from what was said with her early on in the season, that's what where that whole region council vote thing came from, was she was essentially trying to do us, 89 and 98 together as like a 3-on-1 against 132. Meanwhile, the people in charge had already kind of made this deal with 132 that, like, hey, we're going to do our own, two clan or two region alliance kind of thing. Here's what it is. And so we already made like one deal previous to that, and it was them trying to do a new deal is what it was there. And that's when you had people like Ghost, people like Grooves, etc. were like, oh no, we should totally do this other one, because apparently what was said in that was, with the current relocation system going on right now, had we done that one, you would have had this flower chick and then a bunch of other people come over from that clan and basically backfill our clans is what it is there for the second coalition. Like she would have basically herself come to, I think, one of the actual main region what was I saying? Not main region. One of the main coalition clans, and then all of her people would have basically gone to like a second clan in the second coalition would have been there. And the entire point was, though, is we would have had a deal where we would have had probably like 70-something people coming over there. Instead, we basically didn't make that deal. And the thing with her was she would have brought like 7-star Zeke. 7-star Zeke with her is what I'm talking about there on that one. So yeah, that's fucking huge, because that is going to be, killing everybody pretty much. Like how I mentioned one of these before with Mr. Lord's guy in season 5. She was basically him to a lesser extent when it came to pay to win. And we chose not to make that deal, and that's when basically Ghost, Groves, Kaiser, etc. all jumped ship, showed the true colors. We're like, oh no, we're not going to do that thing, whatever the case be. Because I guess, I don't know if any of that, I think one or two of them people at some point actually had were part of that like regional council or whatever. Because like they said, it was basically one vote determined, like, okay, we're either going to keep our thing with 132 or we're going to go do this like 3-on-1 versus 132. And I'm not sure who voted which ways, but apparently it was like that one determining vote is what caused that like split/fracture of like 10, 12 people jumping out of the clan. Then is what it is. Which at the end of the day, it was actually like 15 or 20 that actually joined that were the overall Zen clan, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. Which is kind of funny then, because half of those motherfuckers, including Tim, decided to come back. They basically, like, a couple weeks later were like, oh yeah, this sucks, man, because we're not going to get, see, like, I think they were basically having a bitch up with like Ghost and everybody like that. We're like, man, this sucks, because now I'm not going to get fucking, season rewards and stuff like that as a first coalition clan or whatever the case be. And they were like, well, fine, then just fucking leave or whatever then. And they're like, well, fine, I fucking will then. And then they ended up, Tim and a few others then actually left Zen and came back into, I think it was DFA or whatever. And we're doing stuff there. And then, of course, Tim, again, showing the real turncoat his ass was. He fucking dipped out then at the end of the season and went to join one of the other regions, what it was here then. So, but yeah, it was, let me see if I can find the thing right now. Okay, I was right. It was 98. 98 was the one that had won the season, and then it was 89 was the one with these people in it then. So I'm gonna go see if I can find their territory real quick, because I should be able to then figure out exactly who we're talking about here. Don't want to attack you. I just want to find out who the fuck your damn leadership is here. Okay, so it is. Huh. Okay, so apparently they were calling themselves Flower, and now it's Butter Cookie is what they call themselves there. So let me check this real quick. That might be who that is, and if that be the case. Huh. Well, she must have left then, because yeah, I'm only seeing like 50 people here now. and she's not one of them. And I know for a fact that she had to be way more than 200K. So yeah, I'm not sure, man. Weird. Anyway. But yeah, like I said, she had like Zeke and everything else like that, and it was like a whole thing of like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this thing, whatever the case be, and then everybody's like, okay, cool, and then yeah, it just ended up not being a thing then. So it is what it is, man. It didn't happen. It's semantics at this point, honestly. Like it sucks it didn't happen, but like again, like what can you do, honestly, man? So I got 2 more of those to get before the end of the day. And then, yeah, like I was saying there, you got other things to consider here is what it is. So I'm going to see if my, from this one is actually anything worth it. Oh, no, it's just a whole bunch of water. Gay. But anyway, so, I mean, that is pretty fucking gay, honestly, man. But, it is what it is, man. Go ahead and snag this bad boy right here, since nobody else seems to be taking it. Is that one up for grabs too? No, that's still on a 30. Okay, whatever. So yeah, I guess what was happening was, I forget what that Michelle guy mentioned in the Q&A chat, how he had put it, but it was essentially what he was saying was people undercutting you and taking what was going to be your thing, whatever the case be. And yeah, he was right about that one. Like there was a bunch. That's why we ended up moving away from 132 then, is because we were basically going after each other's for today, where they were trying to take ours and we were inadvertently trying to take theirs because we were both attacking the same 31s for this event. So it is what it is. But yeah, so they everybody's like, yeah, move over here now so we can actually have our own space to do our own thing if that be the case, which is good, obviously. So, but yeah, we since I know that we're gonna have a few more days in this clan right now, or not the clan, in this region right now, I think I'm gonna go and do some of my ones here that are not quite 30 yet, up to 30 right now. Okay, so that's water. I know I did 2 this morning that were only 28s. I need to do now to something else, because those were both in the I was over in the 144 region when I did those. So anyway, but yeah, that being said, it is what it is. And what was interesting though is that you had mentioning in that situation there of people like leaving and people coming in and stuff like that. Like I said, we got a bunch of new people coming in now, and yeah, almost everybody that came in now is like strong ass T10. So essentially what you had was, like I said, we lost Jimmy, we lost Palmer, we lost a lot of these other people that weren't really helping out at the end here. So in the long run though, we actually are going to be better because now we're going to be more coalesced. And then also at the same time, we got people like myself who are finally able to step up and become T10s anyway. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be one of these guys that's going to pay, fucking credit card swipe $10,000, whatever the case be, into the fucking game, like one shot, and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to be, everything's a T10 now kind of thing, whatever the case be. And now I'm like basically heavy hitters and stuff like that. But yeah, like you have people that are heavy hitters right now. You got others coming in from 129, etc. They're going to be more heavy hitter people and stuff like that. And then you got people like me that are going to be mid-graders, what it is, what I call us, dude, or grinders, if you want to call it that, the case then. So, yeah, like, we're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to work our fucking asses off to grind through as a free-to-play player this entire time for almost 500 fucking days, people. Let's not get a twist on that one. We have everybody being able to do their own thing. Those of us that cannot pay to win, those of us who don't have money to pay into the game, those of us who chose 488 days ago, we're not paying a dime to replay this game. we're going to pay with our blood, our sweat, our tears, etc. You know, and that's exactly why I shielded up and moved it back to the season, back to our home region a lot of times, because it's like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and really be murked out, man. Like, there's zero fucking reason for that. For me to, you know, be this strong of a T9, almost T10 at the time, and then be randomly killed out of nowhere for no reason at all. Be a casualty of war. It's like, that's just not going to happen. You know, it happened once in season 2, and it almost gave me PTSD, man. So, I half kid on that one. So, let me see something right quick here. All right, go to our prosperity thing. Nice, we got 50. We can get our in. Yeah, but anyway, I forgot to mention this earlier, and I'm going to mention it now that I'm thinking about it offhand. So one of the things that I brought up actually in this whole thing, because I was mentioning about, you know, my own time to get here is what it is. And like I said, it's not like I can't, you know, get ahead and stuff like that. It's basically just, you know, I don't have the ability to do certain things. Here's what it is. And I think that's what people need to realize, you know, and I think they do kind of realize that now, like, oh yeah, you know, this, and there's a reason why I have 3 accounts here, bro. Like, again, it would be one thing if I was like being told like, oh yeah, you know, try to pay into like one of them, whatever the case be. It's like, that's not going to happen though, dude. It's just not. So I think what's going to happen here is actually, it'll be the upcoming Lines We Cross event. I will basically get to a situation. Fucking people. So, sorry, I just realized that these people can't run at 25. Neither can I. But yeah, so basically, what I was going to mention though is that we are to a point right now of I'm already too invested, is what I'm going to say on that one, and I'm not just going to start paying into shit or whatever when I don't have the money to do so. Is what it is there. Even if that's the thing. Even if I have the money to do it, is what it is, man. Like, because I wasn't going to mention like World War III stuff to them or whatever the case be, and go like full like, you know, because that's not what that thing was about. So, but yeah, my whole point was, it's like, yeah, I got better things to do with my money than sit there and throw it into a game that's could be, you know, EMP'd tomorrow, basically. Let's say it like that, honestly. Because that's the truth at the end of the day. You know, we could literally be in a situation where World War III starts tomorrow. You have a bunch of fucking different countries across the world right now literally EMPing each other and stuff like that, or like, and maybe not like, well, I should say, technically it would be tactical nuking each other, but the thing is, it would be tactical nuking the atmospheres. What it would be. So in order for that to happen, then what you would end up having is, it would not be the tactical nukes killing everybody. It would be them literally destroying our atmosphere above us, to where you'd have an EMP shower come down and basically knock out electronics. What would happen there? Like that book, 1 Second After. And so in that situation, because of that, you would end up in a situation then where you'd basically be fucked over, and you'd have like no ability to do anything then. And yeah, my thing is, it's like, yeah, would I rather have, you know, $500 spent into a firearm of some kind and some ammunition and some magazines? Or would I rather have $500 spent into a digital fucking game that I cannot do anything with, because I can never play that game again with an EMP burst? So it's basically, would I rather have something that I can defend myself with and my family with, and also, you know, procure food and et cetera there? Or would I rather just be sitting there as a sitting fucking duck if something were to happen like that? And it's like, no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to be the guy that gets, you know, fucked over in the long run or whatever there. So anyway, that's basically the way I feel about it. And just trying to see which one of these challenges is going to be next up now. Okay, okay, cool. We're about to be in a build train, animal train, so I'll wait 5 hours, or about an hour and some change on that one, and not piss away a bunch of stuff in the 5-hour thing then. So yeah, I'll be able to burn that up. I'll have 300 something more, 327 more guys trained, and I'll have another 327 more guys trained after that. This is going to be fun. So we're already at 1676 right now for T10 dudes. So we'd be at, let's see, it puts us at 2,000 about 2,300-ish, give or take. And we need, how many do we need for one of my accounts right now? Let's see. My main one, any of those need about 5,000-ish. 5,000-ish for F2. Just under 5,000 for F3. Just under 5,000 for F4. And then 3,500 for F5. So I guess technically I could go 3,400 for F5 because I could just do what's her face here, 4-point-something star Laura. So yeah, actually let's see how whatchamacallit she actually is here. Yeah, she is a, what is she considered right now? Yeah, she is a 4-3 right now. So I need 90 plus 80, 84. So that'd be 174 fragments right now to go into her ass at some point to get her all the way to 5. God, that's going to be so much things, dude. Again, that's the problem when they got rid of Tomb Raider Laura, or this is a Tomb Raider Adventure Laura, is that now you can't do anything except universal stuff with her. But that being said, what's nice about that, though, is that 12,000 rubies from now, that's basically what it would cost to do it right now, I could actually be at Elite level 10, and I would be able to then have my daily be a single legendary fragment then. Which, this is something that does bother the shit out of me, honestly, as where we're at right now. So you have all the way up through T6, you just get a single short range mission. When you get, or not T6, Elite level 6. When you get to Elite level 7, you start getting that short range, but you also get a single epic survivor fragment every day for logging in and gathering it or whatever then. When you get to T8, you get 2 short range transmissions, but you only still get 1 epic fragment. When you get to T9, you get 3 short range missions, but you still only get 1 epic fragment, which to me is wrong. It should be every time you jump in that, it should start out as 1, and then it should go to 2, and then it should go to 3, or at minimum, it should go 1, 1, and then 2. And then when you get to Elite level 10, it should go from 1 to then 2, and so forth and so on. When you get to like 12 and stuff like that. So, ooh, that'll be nice actually. And this is another thing I think is stupid actually. So okay, so the daily rewards between T9 and T10, or not T9, T10, Elite level 9, Elite level 10, you have 1 epic, 3 short range, and then some other stuff is what it is here. When you get to 10, you get 1 legendary instead of 1 epic, but you still only get 3 short ranges, and so forth and so on. And then it's not until 11 is when you start getting a long range, a single long range for the day for rewards. And then at level 12, you still get a single long range. Level 13 is when you actually have 2 legendary fragments for the day, but you only still have 1 short range, or only still have 1 long range. Level 14 still the same thing. Level 15 still the same thing. Level 16 is when you finally get to the point where you have 3 legendary survivor fragments and 2 long-range transmissions a day. That's insane, dude. That's fucking retarded is what that is. That's a bunch of BS entirely. That being said, though, holy shit, man. I just realized whenever I get to Elite level 12, I have 20 universal fragments coming immediately then. So that's going to be a huge boon at some point. Either for one of the guys I have right now that's going to have to break through at some point, or it'll be probably towards that Laura character then in that situation. Maybe actually Governor, depending. And that was one thing I was mentioning too, like, because I've said this several times now and I sort of lost track of things, what it is there. But yeah, as I was saying, mentioned something too with the people there in that Q&A. I said, how fast are we, or how much of a difference is Call to Arms to White and Vengeful Negan going to play in people's formations this coming season that's going to be able to get him and stuff like that. So I don't know about this season because it's going to be a pain in the ass again. You're not going to be able, as people are saying, you're not going to be able to pay to win to get fragments and stuff like that. But as Megan sent me this, that was what it was with the whole thing of Ruthless Negan, etc. here. New Survivor chemistry approaches just in time for Season 7. Vengeful Governor and Call to Arms Dwight join the battle to complete a new chemistry triangle, Violent Minds, alongside Negan/Ruthless Negan. It says new chemistry triangle will empower your cavalry troops, buffing your cavalry fighters with up to 30% defense, 30% health. Will the Violent Minds be part of your formations? Yeah, that's insane, dude. That is a huge fucking buff, by the way, if people can T7 those out right now. Which, from my understanding, I think what's going to happen is when T7 starts or whatever, or not T7, when Season 7 starts, I believe, because right now you have Ruthless Negan. He is actually, whenever you do the survival challenges every day, it's either Pamela or him. You can get you can get a single fragment for the I think it's 12 million is what it is there or whatever. So you're basically be able to do 12 million every time or whatever. You can get like, I want to say like half a dozen of those a day, give or take. And then plus with current survival challenge stuff going on right now, it's like another 5 or so from that every day of those 7 days. So potentially if you're able to pay to win, or not pay to win, but you're able to, well, yeah, I guess I would say pay to win, because essentially you are paying to win to get ahead is what it is there. And what you end up being in a situation of is that you're paying to win to get ahead, but you're also then able to do various things for those time periods or do speed ups or whatever the case be to get all the things you would need. So you have everything done for the survival challenge. So you can have potentially 35 Negans in that, plus another 6 per day. So potentially, if you're able to get enough money together / resources together to do that, you would essentially for that week have, let me figure this out. So 6 per day would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 30. I think if I'm not mistaken, that would actually fall into the Sunday then too. So you would have one of those days, or no, actually, is this just no, it's not a 5-day event, is it? Pretty sure it's a 7-day event, isn't it? Or is it just a 6-day event now I'm thinking about it? Let me go look it up now. No, sorry, it is a 6-day event. I'm retarded. Okay, so you have, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 for that. Okay, so 30 for that, and then you would have another 6 a day. So it'd be 36. So you potentially could have 66 for that whole event then. And then plus, if you can do another thing on that 7th day, you would have another 5 per thing, because you have to get to that other landmark where you can get 4 of them. So it'd be, so that'd be another 30. So potentially you could have almost 100 per thing then, which is insane, because that's how you get ahead real quick is what it is there. Because right there, which is almost 100 there, you would potentially have like an entire Negan be able to be produced out of that then. Because if you go from like obviously to start out, you got to get 54 of them, but then it's like 10s across the board for 0 to 1, and then 20s across the board for 1 to 2. So it would basically be 50. So potentially we can get almost 100 there. You can go from not having Negan at all to having almost an entire 1-star Negan. And then it would basically be, if you already have all 1-star Negan, it would be almost enough to get him all the way to 2 stars then. And then from there is where it gets kind of iffy, because it's 30 per thing from 2 to 3 then per 1/5 of a level. So you're essentially talking about 150 frags then for that is needed, and so forth and so on. And it just gets more and more after time though. But yeah, as the one guy was saying earlier, I forget which dude it was that was in the Q&A was talking about it. He was like, yeah, trying to get this leveled out or whatever the case, because I guess he already has the original Negan in the Tyrant trio with Governor and damn, what's that girl's name? Pamela. Yeah, the Commonwealth chick. So he has those already as a tyrant trio, and then he's trying to do the saviors then, because apparently you can do Ruthless Negan in with Dwight and regular Dwight, and then John. So yeah, he only has the John Dwight combo right now, so he needs to get that like third dude for. I think he was saying it was supposed to be his F5 or whatever right now. So that's cool. Good for you, buddy. Meanwhile, some of us are over here just trying to get fucking season Rick still. So, I mean, that's seriously, man. I still have not gotten season Rick in any of my accounts, and I'm so fucking irritated about it right now. Because I'm not gonna burn. Like, that's the thing I realized. Like, I've done it too many times before. I'm not just gonna burn through a bunch of stupid shit this season. Is what it is. I'm not gonna be dumb. I'm not gonna do dumbass shit and, you know, basically piss away a whole bunch of fragments and stuff like that. In the meantime, I'm gonna still do the first two is what it is. But even doing the first two, I only have to spend like, I think 15 a day or something. And I still have well over 160 right now on each one of these accounts. So plus we're doing things right now that do the things. The nice thing too about it is now I don't have to worry about going to do in my main account the long range transmission, which would be Rick and everybody like that. I also don't have to worry about doing the long range transmission too for baiting everybody because I already got all of those dudes at 100. So basically what I'm doing right now is every single day I'm just doing long range transmission 3s and trying to get the Rick fragments and stuff like that. It's like Rick, Holly, Mercer, Shane, etc. for their advanced fragmentation. And if I can get, you know, some Billy, some Shanes, some Jared's, Boyd's, Zeke's, etc. and that whole thing for epics too, like, cool, good, you know. Yeah, as it is right now, I have a 6-star Zeke. That's an epic right now in this. And he is 37 fragments away from being able to be 6-1. I should say 6.1. So, and then right now I am 85 fragments away currently from being able to get Tomb Raider Laura, the epic version of her, all the way up to 5 stars. And then I have no idea what's going to happen after that then, because if I can get... The thing is right now, and that's why I'm kind of hesitant to jump up my elite level stuff or whatever and just let it do naturally to T10 or whatever then for that, or to level 10 then. Because like I said, I'm like 12,000 or so away right now. And as of right now, I think I figured it out the other day, it was like 30-something days. So that means I'll have like 30 days worth of there. That being said, knowing that I potentially could have now 30 days of real fragments and stuff, like, do I just say fuck her and try to get like, you know, that 12K or whatever then right now and do what needs to be done there is what it is there. So I'm thinking about it right now, honestly. I'm like, like, do I have enough for 12? That seems a good question right now. 3,000. And then I have a little over 8,000 in my pack right now, so that's about 11K. I really don't want to do that though. No, I don't want to. No, I'm not. You guys hear the hesitancy in my voice, and there's so many different reasons why, honestly. And it's not to mention the fact that I want that 600 per day for the dogs that I need to have to buy a dog every day, but also it's not worth it from the perspective of you could wait a few more days, if not another week or so, get a few more fragments like that, and then end up burning her upwards and stuff like that. But also at that same time, you're better off not doing that right now just because of the fact that you would then be scrimping and saving if in case another knife challenge pops down, which I don't know if we're going to have one soon or not. And that's a big thing. Like I'd rather sit there and spend like 2,500 rubies on 5 more knife grabs, knowing that I'll have at least 5 more fragments for somebody at that point, you know, whether it be getting my Holly all the way up to 5.1 and being able to break her through finally is what it is then. Because she's only 18 away right now. Or whether it be, you know, going after Abraham, who's about 45 or so, give or take, fragments away. Same thing with Mercer. Mercer is 65 of 110 right now. So, yeah. And then, of course, you got, Alpha, who's 55 away currently. So, yeah, I'd almost rather go for those people right now. Or even if I wanted to go like Shane route or something like that, I could do that, and he'd be. Actually, technically, I probably should just start joining these damn things when it comes to trio stuff or whatever, and just doing it all the time. Then, if that be the case, I don't know. We got 2 more days right now. Can I do that to 90 or not? That's a good question because I'm at 30 right now. At least maybe try to get to 50 so I can have at least 5 more fragments for that then. So that'd be 20 then. So let's see. Yeah, that'd be all 5 more formations doing stuff then. So I don't know, man. It's hard to say on that. How much time do I have left right now before this motherfucker goes? Okay, 4 minutes right now. Yeah, as of right now, though, like I was saying with them dudes, like about my, third account or whatever, not being all the way there or whatever yet. Yeah, I'm currently. It's like 18 days, even with region buff. But then it's also, how many more days I have to have before I can get all the fragmentation. Because right now I'm 41 of 5,000. So that means 59, I believe is what it is right now, that I need more of. And I can get 54 a day. So you're talking about somebody literally just got the governor. I don't know who it was. It was one of the other players that was weaker, whatever the case be. But yeah, so you basically have 54 a day. So you're talking about 108 for 2 days. So that'd be 216. 8 days would be 432. Another 108 would be 540. So that's 10 days. So then about 12 days, give or take, right now. I think is what it is. Because I said, 600 something right now. So yeah, I think it's like 12 days right now. And mind you, this is just me, talking about the whole thing overall then. It's not me going out there and being able to, grab a bunch of good shit here from the other thing then, if that be the case. So, which I'm going to go do right now, by the way. I'm going to go grab a bunch of stuff for this thing right now. So, start doing up all my forms out to go grab different things here. Yeah, if I could get, depending, if I can actually end up getting a couple of flasks and stuff like that out of various world events. Well, we still have them in place right now between seasons. Here's what it is, because I think it's during that thing, they burn through a couple days or whatever, and they don't let them out or whatever it is there, which I think is fucking stupid and bullshit entirely. Because it's just a way to fuck. Again, it's just a way to fuck people over. Is what it is between seasons. There's what it is. So, but yeah, if you can get the flasks for that thing, because there's times where I can sit there and again, it's like you're talking about potentially the difference between a day and 2 days or whatever the case be in some cases, because you have the ability to have one person's thing built up to where it is they're waiting on that 54 a day for the Walker Wall flasks. And that's that, by the way, for those wondering the amount that I'm counting on right now, that's how many days it would take just getting those alone. So that's not including anything that I would get from, various world events and stuff like that. Because again, it could be nothing for a day, and it could be the next day I get like 75 during that 24-hour time span or whatever the case be. So, there's a huge difference between the days too. And I think, honestly, from what I figured out, actually, it seems like there's usually like one a day given, like during one of those 4-hour events or whatever it is there for that. So you're guaranteed at least one set a day, I think is what it is, of like 5, 10, 15, or 20 or whatever it is there. So that, again, that's like, something like that would be added in there or whatever. But yeah, the other day I was on there and I ended up burning through a bunch of ones and it ended up being like 50 fragments or something like that in one shot for just one of those events is what it is then. because I had like a couple built up throughout the day or whatever then, and it just kept dropping a bunch of them in there then. So it's like, yeah, you're talking about the difference between like an entire day then with that amount then. So, and like I said, if they just bring back that fucking Mixture Madness game, like even just that right now, that would cut me down to like a couple days now, you know? Because like I said, with that whole thing currently, it is, how many did I say it was earlier now? My thought process is going out the window on this one. Yeah, so it was like 600, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 659. So 650, and then you'd have like 300 out of that one. So that means you're 350 then. So you're talking about a week maybe at most. Like that's a big difference between like 2 weeks and a week. And then you add in the fact that it's going to be another 18 days from start to finish for that tech. But then again with the tech, you know, because again, the reason I say that honestly is because it's almost 20 days to start out with. It's 19 days, 23 hours, 12 minutes, and 5 seconds to start out the tech with. But if you can, you know, shave off a little bit of time with that with a region buff, I think it's like 18 days and some changes what it is then. So essentially what you're talking about then is you're having a situation of a much better overall deal then. And yeah, right now my current dude in place does an hour minus an hour off of the research stuff then. So, which is a 4-star Isaiah. That dude is really hard to get fragments for too, by the way. Well, not really hard, but he's I mean, you can get like 25 of them in the shop a day or a go or whatever, but then it's like 40K for that thing though. And you can only do it once a week then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the other shit right now, which is all my construction speed ups, all my, speed ups. And then I think maybe I'll grab Isaiah later is what it'll be then. Maybe prioritize him from now on then, so he'll be able to do a little bit better for me than if that be the case. Almost got enough for Ryan's to level his ass out to a 2-something. So, anyways, that being said, let's see, where are we at right now? Okay, let's see. Region 2, cross-region relocation event started. Now apply for other things. Okay. So, round 1 finished up already. Round 2 is going right now. Let's see. Like I said, with 102, I think is what it is. Actually, that was one thing that Megan mentioned during that Q&A was how you basically have had everybody essentially just killing each other in 134 to the point where everybody's jumping out at 134 now. And as people said, I guess it was like the better part of like 6-8 months there was talk of oh yeah, you know, Aqua's the shit, it's the place to be, it's so fucking great, come here and join us. And then they pretty much imploded on themselves. Because, like, and this is what happens too, by the way, when you're all a bunch of pay to wins, because you're sitting there paying X amount of dollars into the fucking game, and you're like, oh well, you know, like I paid this much money, so I should be the fucking region chief now. No, I paid more money than you, so I should be region chief now, and you can fuck off and stuff like that is what it is. And so it literally becomes a situation of pay to win versus pay to win, and that doesn't work out well, man, in the long run. And I just literally realized as I'm sitting here, because I jumped to my other middle account here, I just still had the fucking thing in that one that I hadn't finished up yet. So I had to do that now too. Let's see how many more's on that one right now. Okay, it's just the one on that then. Okay, so that one's finished now, so I gotta do the middle one then in 10 minutes. So anyway, but yeah, what was interesting though is that's what happened though, is what it was. You had, like I said, it was between season 4 and 5. You had us basically being that third clan in that coalition of 134, and then they were telling our leadership when we had literally people who weren't there for weeks at a time doing nothing at all, like they were dead accounts clearly, They're just like, oh no, you can't kick these people out and bring these other people in that would help us build and be better and stuff like that because, no, we don't like these other people. Even though it would have actually helped us out and it would have actually overall helped the fucking entire region out as a whole in the long run. It's like, no, let's be fucking dickheads. Like, Jesus fuck, man. It's so fucking stupid. So, let me see here. Trying to see if there's who's all coming up into 144 right now, if anybody at all. Okay, so we got no huge whales. We got no little mini whales. When I say huge whales, there's mini whales. I consider Killer Bees to be a huge whale now because he's over I think he's 375 million in combat power. So, and that's the 320 plus people. Then the 250 to 320, that's the mini whale / pay to win people. The 175 to 250, those are just pay to wins, period. And then where I'm at right now, which is 96, is basically just free to play forever, is what it is then. And then, of course, you got the 0 to 95 mil too as well. So, let's see. We got, who's all coming in here? We got a 147. We got another 147. We got a 135. We got a 129. So I'm assuming that's one of the people that hasn't pulled over yet. We got another 147. We got somebody from 134 that I'd never heard of before. We got another person from 134 I never heard of before. And then finally, last but not least, Little Minnie is rejoining us here in 144 from 134. Hell yeah, baby. Super psyched to see that name. Super psyched to see that player. Also, really wish Christina would have been here too, but I don't know if she jumped to someplace else or not before this. So, yeah, it would have been nice to see her getting here last season. So, anyway. But yeah, we're getting the old band back together, people. It's fucking awesome. Not to mention, like I said, we're 96 of 100 right now. We got a couple new people now. We got Casanova. We got Captain Smoker. We got Layla. Harley. Spelled with a 3. And then Alice 1. Both left that one. I think they went back to the second coalition. What it was there. AR Wilderness, I'm not sure if he left the clan / region for a different region or if he's just leaving to go back, or if he's leaving to go down to a second coalition already is what it is. Emery, I think, is leaving the region entirely. Cruffan left. I'm not sure if they're going to go to a different one or not. They're new people, though. Fearless 87 left. I'm pretty sure that they're just going to a different one of the regions or one of the clans would be then. And then Q8 left us yesterday, and I think they're just going to either Hellhounds or Death from Above. So, and I'm not sure if Moby Dick, like I said, I think they might have left the region actually. So that was a huge thing. Working, again, like I said, the guy that comes up working, that guy was a douchebag because I think he was actually the one fucking given, I think they were basically spying on us for Ghost and Company then. Like they basically were told, like, oh yeah, we'll pay. I think what it was is they were like, oh yeah, come with us at the end of this season. We'll pay for you to come to this other region or whatever the case be. Just be our spy right now for us. Because there's definitely shit that was happening this last like 30 days or so that doesn't make any fucking sense at all unless you talk about there being like a spy in our midst kind of thing is what it was there. And I think that's exactly who it was is what it will be. And the thing is that dude was only a T8 too. So it's like, yeah, unless what they offered you, because my thing is, it's not like what they're offering you is all that good, dude. You just come to their region or whatever. It's like, no, if you're going to take that fucking offer, dude, it better be they're paying for you to relocate and they're giving you a fuck ton of gold / rubies to be able to up yourself and stuff like that. Then is what it would be then. And for that one, I'd be taking like legitimately like at least $100 worth of gold bars. And then what it would be then. Be able to buy into some shit then myself is what it would be though. For that kind of shit. So I am currently 10 Morgan fragments away from a 5-3 in my second count right now, which would take him all the way up to 106 then. And I have over enough medals to do it too. I have almost 7,000 medals right now. He costs 2,000 on that one. Everybody else costs will get K to get to 100 then. This is the one that's kind of weird though, because I have Alpha, Beta, Lydia, Rosita, Holly, and Abraham. All of them are at 4-4 right now. None of them have gone to 5 stars yet. The closest one right now is Alpha. She needs 20 more fragments to get to 5 stars. She'll probably get there the fastest, actually. Because one thing I noticed with that one is when you're grabbing at the second transmission thing here, she seems to be the one that pops up quite a bit. Like her, and then who's the other one? Yeah, her, Laura, and Mercer I've gotten the most of, I think, in this account. And then it seems like I'm getting a lot of princesses too recently. But yeah, for the legendary ones, it's Mercer, Laura, Lydia, Alpha, Beta, Princess, and Samantha, who I don't really seem to get any of, honestly, ever, unless it's like a random pool where it's just like, hey, here's a Samantha, and it equals out to 50 fragments. That's what it is then. Versus like the 10th grab where it's only like 10 fragments. It's never like 10 Samanthas. So I really wish they would allow you to choose to. It would be nice. Or even in that same vein of things, it'd be nice if, like I said before, where they have the what the hell do they call that now? Where you would get in the God, I'm trying to remember what the fucking event's called now. There's an event where you can basically do fragmentation things where it's a bunch of universal fragments into an Andrea, or it's like a bunch into a Pamela or something, I think is what it is. And it would be nice if you could do that, but it wouldn't be universals. It would be whenever you have these dudes maxed out, you should be able to then use X amount of fragments of theirs instead of it being like something where you're going to have it be your tokens or whatever. You should be able to do like 5 for 1, 10 for 1, whatever it is, into another character then. Like specifically something like a Maggie right now that you can't ever get the fragments of anymore, and it's all universal fragments needed for her now is what it is. That's who should be able to be gotten then. You should be able to go and do like X amount of fragments towards Maggie or something then. Of any other characters or something like that is what it would be. So. And then I just realized that I am really close to this. So I'm going to go ahead and put these here. I just realized I had 2 universal fragments in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and send them towards Tomb Raider Adventure Laura. Because I was 5 away at that point. And now I'll be 3 away from having her as a 4-3 then, which is a good deal because I think she becomes it's either a 10.5 or a 10.8 Tall Fighter's attack then, whenever she jumps up to 4-3 then. So either way, 3 universals away from her ass then right now. So anywho, that being said, I think we're pretty close to finishing up right now. We're about a half hour away from reset currently. And I would really like to talk to a couple people then. So I'm going to do that real fast then and see what's up. And I'm going to mention something to Megan specifically about a couple things. And it's basically getting her opinion on where I should go from right now. Because I think my plan right now going forward is I'm going to do, after I get the Ultimate Cavalry stuff done, I still have the ability to go towards other stuff is what it is here with other, saved rubies and stuff or saved flasks and stuff like that. And that's the whole thing. Actually, now looking back at this, okay, so you start out in this whole thing for these different trainings, whether it be melee, sharpshooters, or cavalry. So you got fighters versus sharpshooters, or fighters versus melee, fighters versus cavalry. I don't know how much it costs to do that all the way to the thing. And then you got melee fighter guards attack, melee fighter attack increase when defending town, melee fighter defense increase when attacking town. It's all the way to 10s on those. And in this particular count, my fighter guard's health increase when defending town is at 8, which will go up to 9. It only costs 68 fragments to do that one. and then it would be more than that after that. But then for the training thing, it's 134 from T8 to T9, and then from T9 to the, or I should say, from level 8 to level 9 is 134, and then from level 9 to level 10, it's like way more than that. And then from the fighter ration thing, that costs 154 fragments from 4 to 5. And then after that, it's the siege thing. It's 100 something from 4 to 5. 112 for the other thing there. For the fighter attack right now, if I was to just start fighter attack right now, which takes a day and a half, it's 220 fragments for the first go around. That being said, that's also a huge boon if you're going to do that for other things then. And the same thing with the fighter defense. It's also 220 flasks. And then for the fighter health, it's also 220 for that first one. Fighters versus sharpshooters, it is 220 for that first one. And then, like I said, the ultimate one is 5,000 overall then. So yeah, it's like 220, and then it goes up from there basically on those last ones. So you can do it up to a certain point, that was what it is, but then you get fucked really hard at the end of the day, that was what it is then. So yeah, it's a real pain in the dick hole. But anyway, that being said, it only takes 5 hours to research the fighter guard thing from 8 to 9, so I might just do that later then if that be the case in a couple of days here. Yeah, I got enough for 6 hours of speed ups right now on this thing, and I got 2 days, 18 hours left on this, so that'd be about 2 days, 12 hours, so it'd be about 60 hours left, give or take, with speed ups currently, which will be more than that at the end of the day, because I'll be doing some other stuff here as well, but yeah, it's just, it does suck sometimes, though, I mean, it really does. Because you're basically just like, you're trying to get ahead, but you can never really get ahead is what it is, if that makes any sense. Again, the life of a free-to-play player in a game like this, it's all, you know, pay-to-win people looking at you and being like, well, just pay to win, bro. It's like, I can't just pay to win, bro. It's like, unless y'all want to just give me some money, you know. Because that's the thing. I mean, that's the one thing that does kind of bother me about some of those guys, though. It's like, you know, like that kind of mentality or whatever. It's like, you know, y'all could like sit here and ask people straight up, be like, okay, how many of you cannot pay anything into this? And then be like, how much can I do these things for? Get everybody's IDs or whatever the case be. Even just drop them $5 worth of stuff, man, would be one thing. You know, if you did that for like 5 people or something like that, like each one of y'all spent like $25 and helped out like 5 people that were like lower people in the clan or whatever, or in the coalition for that matter. Like that would go a long fucking way. So that being said, I'm not asking Jordan to do that ever again because he did that for me a long time ago when he helped me get the funds I needed to get into this fucking region. So, but yeah, it's just, I don't know what I would have done. I would have been fucked at 134 forever, pretty much, is what it would have been then. Although the real thing is I wouldn't have been, because I would have definitely figured out a way to get the hell out of there. Because I would have been like, hell no, I'm not staying in this fucking place. So, anyway. But, yeah, I got some stuff I got to do here for the next 20 minutes or so before we finish up for today's daily thing, and then we get into the new one for the next day here, which will be the reset in about 30 minutes or so, give or take. A little bit less than that, actually. So my plan right now is I'm going to go do a couple things, and then I'm going to go, go from there, basically. That's what it'll be. So get my dangerous delivery up for the day here and grab some shit and, do what needs to be done then. Go eat some food maybe or something before a reset happens here. I literally just realized I'm still on all 29s right here. I could do 30 right now. Like a fucking idiot. I'm like, I wondered why my shit was down here. It's like, yeah, because you're a dumb motherfucker and you could have been at 30 already on this. So, anyway. I mean, I'm actually not. I'm just, again, when you have so many accounts to go through at different places and stuff, you're not really thinking much is what it is there. And then you're sort of just waiting for things to like break off basically and finish up for the day or whatever it's going to be there. So you don't really want to waste a day worth of things that are already in place there. So that's what I'm gonna. Shit, where did that go now? I know I just saw it a minute ago. What the fuck? There it is. Yeah, go grab a couple 30s here is what it'll be. Occupied. Get my stuff. Let's see, grab that. Not going to do any of those things because there's no reason to do those things. And then, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to see if anybody left any whatchamacallits here for any new grabs or whatever. Okay, that person's just going after some invisible stuff, which would be whatever their daily stuff is there for the events page. That's one thing that bothers the shit out of me too, by the way, is these roamer events that I'm not doing anymore and haven't done for a long time because it just is stupid and it's hard as fuck to beat them is what it is there. I really wish I could switch. There would be a way I could just like cancel that out and then it would just lead to like a flask one that I could do in like 10 seconds basically. Be so fucking nice. Yeah, and then you got Mr. B, who is a stalwart. That dude is a hardcore a pimpin' there. So, anyway. But yeah, I got, like I said, 2 days, 18 hours and change left on my T10 tech on that one. And I got 1 day, 8 hours, 39 minutes right now for my F5, which I'm probably going to just buy a shitload of fucking things here in a few minutes to get some stuff on that one then. Yeah, I'll probably just buy some speed ups and stuff like that whenever the reset happens then, because I think I got some now I can get right now. Do I have something right now? No, I don't actually. Yeah, whenever reset happens would be the day for what is it now? Yeah, reset would be God, I'm trying to remember what I'm saying now. Fucking mind is blanking out right now. We would get the Tides event, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for the wherever we're at for that event right now. That should, yeah, okay, yeah, 24 minutes that would be gotten. So we'll be. Oh shit, we took number 1 in that one. Fuck yeah, we did. Sweet. So we'll end up with 200 things for that. Then I'll up another 40 in my main account. So let's see, what does that equate to? 200 would be 3691. 6 hours then for that. So I got 6 more hours coming for that one. And then we would have another. Okay, so that'd be. Let's see, a few hours already in that. And then there's another 6 hours. So that'd be about 12 hours or so, give or take. So now we need to have about 12 hours of speed ups then, if that be the case then. Give or take then. So that's cool. That should be doable. Should be feasible. All that good shit. Yeah, if I could just grab them all. I was thinking about just like waiting to do these people's thing, whatever the case be. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. We'll just do it now. I assume some more stuff will come here in a little bit. So just help y'all right now. Give me your shit like half hour early. Where it doesn't actually help me out because it doesn't give me any stuff for it, but whatever. So actually, do I have whatchamacallit right now? Okay, we're only 10 on that one. Ooh, nice. Increase attack for melee fighters for all members is almost done. We're only about 90k away from that right now. Out of a million-ish. That should be fun. Then, like I said, whenever a reset happens, we're going to do some hell, baby. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Go, go, Buffalo. Can't wait to do hell for the prison. Got to make sure I didn't forget to do something here real quick, since I always have that fourth account that I don't have to worry about is what it is. Oh, no, I guess I did miss out on something there. Okay. So, let's see here. No, nothing there I need to do, but I do need to redo a lake, though, is what it is right now. So, grab that stuff. Let's see. Find me a lake right now on this damn map. And trying to find a 22 is the problem, because this doesn't have a fucking thing where you can actually do that thing. This was so stupid when they have the thing for the servers on here. It's not until season 3 or 4, I think is what it is, where they actually give you the ability to sit there and look for one of your level very fucking easily. So now you gotta like do some weird map scouring to find one. So stupid. Anyway, I did find one though, so that's good. But anywho, that being said, like I said, I think we're going to finish off with that one. We got about 2 hours left on this account for the month until around Thanksgiving, so I'm going to save that. We will. I will leave this off with one thing. Obviously, in the city of Ohio tomorrow, we're going to have voting, and for those that live here, please God, vote no on issue 1. If you care anything about kids, if you care anything about the next generation of children in this state or in this country or in this universe at all for that matter, vote no on this fucking abortion trash, dude. Vote no on this child sterilization trash. It never needs to pass here. It shouldn't pass here. There's no way they physically have the votes for it. The only way it passes is with massive voter fraud. It's as simple as that, really. And I do plan on suing the shit out of a bunch of people if that happens right now. So, anyway. That being said, that's where we're at for the day, though. I will be back later, probably this week or next week, to do some stuff. And okay, I was trying to see who all was there today from different clans. Well, I'm gonna go steal this right now. So spend about 5 minutes to get down here and take that. It's like, hey man, it's just sitting here. I'm just gonna swipe it. So, for those wondering what I'm taking, it's there was a level 31 military convoy left. There's about an hour or so left on it. So, and the thing is, like with that, like I'll usually wait. And my thing is, like, if you have people that are sitting there and they're not doing that shit or whatever, it's like, bro, like obviously none of y'all are gonna take this. Whoever knocked the 31s or whatever was just doing it for to either burn off a little bit of stamina or it was to get some walker kills in or something, probably would be my guess. And it's like, yeah, you're just going to leave that there the whole time. So it's like, why wouldn't I just come grab it then? It's just stupid not to. So if I really wanted to be a dickhead right now, I'd actually take this one too and go from there. I might actually do that actually, because I'm looking at it right now. I still have like 100% stamina on a bunch of other stuff then. So I might just do that actually. Give myself a little bit of time to burn through them. Just burn a couple speed ups to get down there. Like quick ass time. Like 20 seconds. Okay, so that's about an hour now that I have to wait for that to reset then. And it just comes sliding in real fast. Can't wait to see my truck just zap in there. Be like, hey, what's up? Just grabs the shit and goes. So, all right, we got 216k bullets on that one and 54 of the cloths, which are needed for various speed up stuff. So, cool. As it is, we're still waiting 30 seconds for the other one to get down there. So we'll see what that brings me here in 20 seconds, and that's where we'll leave the thing off for the day then. God, it's taking a long time to get down there. Could have already been done by this time. So, that being said, I don't like to waste those March speed ups very much if I can help it, especially in accounts like this that don't have more than a couple dozen in it. Okay, that 31 provided 262,900 bullets, 62 cloths, and 62 of the nails that they call metal. So, yeah, too bad that didn't have some rubies or something in it. That would have been nice. But it is what it is, man. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. It's whatever. Anyway. We are going to finish off with that, I think is what it'll be. And then, like I said, we'll be back here probably. I'll probably do a short stream tomorrow afternoon then. Or maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure which. About issue 1 and if it passed or not. Hopefully it does not. And, we'll discuss various things. Because like I said, come Wednesday, I'll probably be suing people in general just because there is a group called Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights who are literally tied to Planned Parenthood, and they are targeted harassing me right now with YouTube ads and everything else like that. So I'm probably going to bring a lawsuit against their asses here come Wednesday just for targeted harassment is what it'll be. Or at least by the end of the week anyway. I'll be talking to some lawyers and stuff about that, how much it would cost to start the lawsuit is what it'll be then. So anyway, but yeah, it was fun today. Me and the rest of that coalition then, they were talking at the end of this Q&A today about like every couple weeks could do another one of these or whatever the case be. So by that logic, it'd be around the 20th of this month will be the next one then. Or maybe it'll be right it might be something where it's like right at the start of season 7 or whatever the case be. And just being like, okay, here's the plan that we're having for season 7 going to season 7 now, whatever the case be. So either way, it should be fun. Hopefully we can get a bunch with everybody bringing their input today. Hopefully we can get a bunch of like war strategy stuff going and, have the real strong T10 people that are actually paying into the game like a lot to be there as like the front line. And then we can do like what that one guy was suggesting of the, crazy like circle and circling or whatever kind of thing where it's like, yeah, you got these people here that are going to be in the middle now that are going to be the 8s, the 9s, etc. Maybe even like the low level T10s, even for that matter, like myself, that would be the T9, T10 hybrid people and stuff like that. And then you would have, the full T10s across the board on the outlying of us. And then it would be the people above them. And then the people that are like the pay to win circulation or whatever would be the ones on the very outskirts then to be the ones, if somebody's trying to attack the inner circle or whatever the case be, you got the outer circle just being like, nope. So there's a meme. Well, I forget what it was based on, but it was talking about it's like the Pepe the Frog or whatever. And it's fucking funny because it was talking about how I was talking about the year that anesthetic or whatever was invented for dentistry and stuff like that. And it was discussing like, okay, here's like what people would use before that, whatever the case be. And it was like the year before that. And it's just somebody like literally getting punched in the face to knock them out to do dentistry on them. Which, ironically enough, if you ever watched the movie Almost Heroes with Chris Farley, they actually do that in that movie. It's pretty fucking funny. Because he's talking about some dentist guy pulling his tooth or whatever the case be, and he's like, okay, I'm going to have to numb you now or whatever the case be. And he's like, okay, go ahead. And the guy's literally taking like a fucking like little chisel hammer and like smack him in the fucking head with it a couple times. And then he's like, dude, what the fuck? Just pull the thing. I think actually in reality, most of the dentistry back then, it wouldn't be like them hitting you in the head with a hammer or whatever the case be. It would be most likely it would actually just be them like handing you some booze or something like that, or even like just taking like a piece of cloth or something like that and like, you know, some moonshine or something like that, and then just like numbing your fucking gums or something probably with it is my guess, honestly. And then they would just rip the shit out then after the fact or whatever then. For those who don't know, the reason on the old barber poles where it had the white and the red and stuff like that is because back in the day it was the barber was actually also your dentist and a few other things for that matter too. So yeah, pretty interesting thing. You have multiple occupations like that should be specialized specialties and stuff like that, all being like one fucking guy doing them all. And it's like, yeah, that's why I would not want to live in the 1800s for a long ass time, dude, because it would be like, if my teeth are all fucked up, whatever the case, I gotta go and pull them. Like, oh hell no, dude, I'm jumping in my fucking time machine and jumping my ass back to 2024 is what it would be then. Since we're almost in 2024 right now. So anyway, but yeah, that being said, that's what we're gonna end today off with. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I'll be back, like I said, for another one at some point here. I'll be back probably either tomorrow night or Wednesday afternoon, evening. It might, if depending on how light Honda's chat goes on Tuesday, I might come in and do like after chat or whatever the case be here is like a grandstand kind of thing, or whatever, and just discuss what happened here with Tuesday's voting and stuff like that. If we have the results and things like that, then so that might be like a 15 to 20 minute, maybe a half hour at most chat then, and then we'll go from there essentially. But yeah, other than that though, it's been a good one. I've been enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself talking to some people today in this whole thing and getting some people's input and, you know, going from there basically is what it is. And, you know, hey man, like we're not all going to pay money into the fucking game. And like I said that before, like I can't afford to, you know, but yeah, as I was asking them, I was like, how different it's going to be with the Violent Minds trio now being a thing, whatever the case be going forward in this coming season. And then a lot of them basically said, hey, it depends on how quick people can get them is what it is then, and how much they can, you know, up them and stuff like that. So I'm guessing it really won't be or season 7 here. It'll probably be more like season 8 or 9. So it'd be like, you know, X amount of months down the road from now, like sometime in 2024 potentially. Then, like that's when they'll really be. People will have them like a decent amount of them, or whatever the case be, at least like 4 or 5 stars then or whatever. And it might be like an F4 or something like that, or an F5. That'll be, you know, sort of a powerhouse for cavalry stuff or whatever then. But anywho, that being said, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And y'all have a good night, man. Hug your loved ones. Do what needs to be done. I will be back again for another chat on this channel, either Tuesday or Wednesday. And then we'll obviously do I'll put more to the account probably for Thursday's Buckshot Thursday. And then we'll do Freedom Friday and Stand Your Ground Saturday then. So look forward to all of those. Until later, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. And peace out, y'all.